I'm recording a mini documentary for a client and wanted to show you this impromptu studio setup I have behind me. Let's run through the audio, the video, and the lighting for this setup. All right, before I run you through this setup, I just want to show you a couple of things that I do want to keep in mind when I am capturing an interview using a space like this. So obviously this is not a sound treated room. In fact, I don't know if you can see it, but there are air conditioning ducts right above where the interviewee might be sitting. Also, this is a situation where I don't have a lot of equipment with me. So it's bare bones, very minimal, and that's what I'd like to show you today. Our goal here is to be able to capture as good of audio as we can, and then also just capture the subject in a very intimate feeling environment. So with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. All right, let's go ahead and start with lighting. Right here, what I've done is I'm not gonna worry about lighting the backdrop in this particular situation, but what I do wanna do is set up a hair light so that I can separate the subject from the background. And then right over here, what I'm doing is I have a large size key light right here, but I'm also taking advantage of the light that's coming through this window right here on the right-hand side. So I want to maintain consistent lighting using a nice big key light, but over here on the right, I am going to take advantage of natural lighting that's in this room and available to me. And then over here, the key light over here, what I did is I am using a grid. You'll notice this particular softbox, I've had it for a really long time and it doesn't have Velcro. So what I did is just use like office clips, you can see right there, just to clip this grid to the lighting. And what that does is it allows me to control that lighting and point it right at the interviewee. And then over here, I have my lighting on a light stand with wheels. I can't tell you how helpful it is to have a light stand with wheels. And then just to show you, I am using the Godox UL60 light. So not a super bright light, but I don't need a lot of light in this situation since I have such natural lighting over here on the left-hand side. I love these lights because there's no fan noise in them. Then over here for the key light, I'm just using a boom pole, a boom stand, basically. These are such handy stands. They're nice because they're more portable than C-stands. They fold down real easily. And then over here I have the key light, and I am using the Amaran P60C for lighting. For audio for this project, I'm shooting on the Sony FX3. It has this XLR input that goes right into the camera, which is really, really nice. I'm using this small sized microphone, and I'll go into a little more detail about this microphone here in a moment, but basically I'm just running an XLR cable straight into the FX3. Now in this case, you can boom the audio directly above the person, but because I'm using a minimal setup, I'm using one of these iFootage clamps, and I'm basically just getting this microphone as close as possible to the person I'm interviewing. So this is really nice. I'm putting it right below their mouth, and I do get nice, clean, clear audio. Now my biggest concern in this setup is directly above, you can see I have an air conditioning vent. Yes, so I do want to make sure that the air conditioning is off while I'm recording, and that makes it so that this audio comes out nice and clean. Now to monitor my audio, what I do is I just use a pair of headphones. It doesn't matter what you use. I'm using the Sony MDR-7506s. I've been using these for a long time and they're great. What I like to do for setups like this is bring a clamp with me. These serve as a great way just to clamp on any sort of a tripod leg. You can see it holds really nicely. In this case, I just chose this as my clamp location. And then what I can do is, while I'm not using my headphones, it's just a great place to hang those headphones. So I do like to monitor my audio, and then I'm just controlling all of my audio settings right here through the FX3, the handle that comes with the FX3. And this is a fantastic setup. So the microphone I'm using for this setup is the Octava MK012. These are great little pencil microphones. I use them for all different types of applications. I connect this directly to my FX3 so that it's not a huge microphone hanging off the camera. And in a situation like this, it's a really easy way to boom a mic either directly above somebody you might be interviewing, in front of them, like as a shotgun mic, and then also in this situation where I'm actually booming the mic directly in front of them. These mics do come with different capsules. I'm using the cardioid capsule, and what that means is I'm just wanting to capture the audio that's right here in front because we're doing an interview. So I want to make sure that I'm capturing that person and the audio is nice, crisp, and clear. This does have an XLR input over here. In this case, I did use a foam little screen right here to put on top of the microphone. I am booming this mic as close to the person's face as possible, so I want to prevent any plosives or anything like that might be happening in this environment. This microphone does require phantom power. Now, the FX3 handle gives me that phantom power. You can use an external recorder or anything like that with this microphone, but I love these little microphones and I use them in situations like these all the time. Okay, for this particular interview, what I'm doing is using the FX3, as I mentioned before. I love the 35mm lens, and this 35mm lens goes all the way down to f1.4, so I can get a nice blurry background and hone in right on my interview subject. And this is the setup I'm using for video. I'm using an iFootage tripod. I mean, any tripod that you have is gonna work in this situation. I like these iFootage tripods because they are carbon fiber, so they're nice and lightweight, they're super sturdy, but most importantly, they can go really tall. So this will look over a crowd, especially if you're filming events, and in this case, I just want to be able to be eye level with whoever I'm interviewing. I want this stand to be nice and sturdy, and I want to be able to clip things to it, like how I'm connecting to the audio in this case, using this clamp, this iFootage clamp. It also gives me the ability to place my headphones, and then if I have a monitor or anything else like that, I can just attach it to this nice sturdy tripod. So that is what I am using for video for this interview. All right, this is it, the final look. This is the look that I'm going for this particular interview. Now let me just turn some lights off so that you can kind of see where we're going with all of this. So this is what it looks like with just the natural lighting in the room. Remember, I am looking at a large size window that's giving me nice natural light coming from the front. I also have a window over here off to the side that's giving me nice natural light over here. And the natural light is also lighting up the background. Now in this case, I want to keep all of my gear minimal, so I'm not lighting up that background. However, I do want to separate my interviewee, my interview subject, from the background. So let's go ahead and turn on the key light here. And now what you can see with the key light is just going to brighten up the face. Because we are separating the person from the background, this really allows for that person to shine. Also with a key light, this is really important. If it's a cloudy day outside, or if you lose light for some reason, or if the light changes, this happens all the time, having a large size key light like this just gives me control of lighting while I'm in the studio and while I'm recording. So that's why this key light is so important. Now what I'll do is I'll turn on the hair light. This really rounds out lighting for this particular setup. So what this does is it's going to light this portion of the person. It's really going to separate them from the background and just gives you that overall look that you're going for. Now, the person who I'm interviewing for this mini documentary, I'm very interested in highlighting their story. So I want the viewer to be able to focus directly in on the person, blurry background and all. It makes that person really pop and shine for the interview. Now for audio, you can't see this microphone, but I have boomed it directly out of frame right below here, as close to my mouth as possible. So that's going to give me the cleanest audio that I can get in this type of a setup. So I want that audio to be as crisp and clear as possible. So that's it for this impromptu studio setup using as little as gear as possible. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this video if you'd like to see additional setups like this I plan on doing in the future. And hey, would you do something differently? Leave it in the comment below if you would change anything or something that stood out to you. That'd be fantastic. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.